Hello! Welcome to another not live edition of Chubs Gone Wild, number 405, recorded on August 3rd, 2021. Hello, Tom.
So is it not professional? I mean, not live because we're not in front of the lobby.
That's in front of the lobby. Wait, what? I don't get it.
You know, the people who can talk to us on Pride 48.
Oh, yes, that beautiful chat room. Oh, that was so fun. I loved it.
No, that's not what I'm asking. Is that the reason why we're not live? Because we are live. We don't edit this.
Well, that's true. Oh, you got me on a technicality there.
So we're recorded in front of a live audience, let's say.
Yes, totally for that. Okay, well,
I always like on like the late night talk shows, they go recorded in front of a live audience, and then there's a little thing at the bottom that goes recorded earlier.
I remember on Happily Divorced, they used to say, a friend used to come on and say, recorded in front of a live studio audience and based on what really happened to me. I'm like, okay, that works, I guess. Whatever. All right, well, it is currently about 80 degrees and sunny outside the Chubs Gone Wild remote studios, where it is 89 days till Halloween, 144 days until Christmas, 62 until Thanksgiving in Canada, 114 until America celebrates Thanksgiving, and 153 days until season 2 of Call Me Cat. That means they're probably going to go into production soon. I'm so excited. I am, I swear.
No, I don't care.
It's also 48 days until Mabon, which runs September 21st through 29th. Mabon is essentially a harvest festival. Pagans and witches use this day to give thanks to nature and to Mother Earth for a good harvest and pray that the crops last throughout the winter.
And what day was that?
That is September 21st through 29th. So it's basically the equinox. No, not equinox. It is the changing of the seasons. So it'll be autumn, basically. Anyway, all right. Well, let's find out what.
Well, wouldn't it be, that would be the equinox.
Well, that's what I'm thinking, but I always
solstice is winter, summer. Equinox is fall and spring.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. It works for me. That's good. All right. Well, let's find out. Oh, okay. So this is what we celebrate today. Crop Duster Day.
Oh, I love doing that.
I'll tell you, sometimes when I'm in the store in Rayleigh's and I walk down an aisle that somebody has just turned out of, and I'm like, oh, girl, we know what you did. Anyway, it is Airplane Crop Duster Day. Also,
I just did it.
I thought you had to be like walking. Crop dusting is what?
I know, I'm just saying I farted. I'm not saying yeah, you have to actually, what happens is you fart and then you walk past somebody. Woo. And usually it's more deliberate than anything. I do it at home all the time.
Yeah, I had Ouija do something like that to me once, and I wanted to punch him in his little nards. Anyway, it's also Black Women's Equal Pay Day, Clean Your Floors, Esther Day, or Esther Day, depending on what your persuasion is. Also, it's Grab Some Nuts Day.
I don't digest them anymore.
Oh, well, you're not supposed to swallow them. You just anyway. All right, it's also National Night Out and National Watermelon Day. That's pretty cool, I guess. I like watermelon, but watermelon doesn't like me.
How come?
It basically just goes right on through. It says, see ya.
So now, are you talking pee or poop?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So those are the holidays that we celebrate today. And of course, today's affirmation, This is a new day and a new opportunity to acknowledge and accept myself as I am. Let us take a moment to reflect on that. I accept myself as I am.
Are you sure?
Sometimes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. Also, Patreon offers a way for folks to support creators and receive rewards not open to the general public, like special podcasts, videos, books, and more. And we want to thank our current patrons, Clinton, Fine, Nick, DJ Stasich, from the universe. Also, Timothy, Eric, Brother Sedatus, Phoenix Dave, and Moose P, and Tim T. Timony, anyway. If you would like to become a patron of the show, just go over to patreon.com/MattBurlingame. Well, we do have some birthdays coming up. I don't know if you knew that or not.
Well, I figured with the cake behind you, you were talking about something.
Oh, yes. It's a very special cake for a very special person. But, yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. Anyway, today we want to send out birthday salutations to Robbie, Stens, Kevin, Joshua, Brandon, David, Dawn. Oh, she was on the film committee with you. Remember Dawn?
Yeah, her birthday's today.
Yeah, that's awesome. Also, we've got what we got coming up here. We've got Paul, Martinez, Bradley, Barry, Gail, James, Jason, Sean, David, Jason, Kimberly, Anthony, and Ann Tracy. So many actors in here that we've worked with and just amazing people.
Well, it's August.
I know. What the hell?
It's because they're all Leos.
We're fucking on the New Year's, I guess, right?
No, it's actually the beginning of December.
Oh.
Yeah, it's cold weather.
Okay, that makes sense. Got to heat it up somehow, right?
I guess so.
Okay. All right. Hey, there's nothing in our feedback, so we're going right on into Chub Hugs, and I want to send a special Chub hug out to the Patrick Walsh, who his kitty Smoochie, who he has just had an up and down journey with through Smoochie's life, but loved that little girl like there was, no tomorrow. And Smoochie got diabetes and was not able to pull out of it and passed this last few days. So want to send him out so much love. He was just such a special cat for him. Anyway, did you have any Chub hugs that you wanted to send out?
I just have one, and it goes out to our dear friend Kathy Bacon, who's obviously having problems. So I give her a Chub hug.
Oh, I didn't know she's having problems. I have to catch up with her.
Well, you read her Twitter feed.
Oh,
to me, and you'll know she's having problems. Obviously.
Poor girl.
Yeah.
Poor woman. All right. Well, we do love the bacon here on this show. All right. The current topics. The teen who was punished for saying she's a lesbian while on the school bus gets actual justice. The bus driver and the school's principal lost their jobs. Bye-bye. Kathy Griffin announces that she has lung cancer and is having surgery to have part of her lung removed.
It seems awfully drastic for stage 1, doesn't it?
Well, I
mean, don't they normally try chemo and other alternatives before they remove portions of the lung?
Well, that's
stage 1.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I read a little bit more about it, and she said that she's actually not going to have to undergo chemo and other stuff. Like, this is going to pretty much remove it. And she also said that, thank God that she's vaccinated and doesn't have to worry about COVID on top of something like this. So,
right.
But I don't know more than that. So but yeah, you're right. It does seem a little extreme, but I don't know the procedures, for something like
Well,
that. And
but
she
then I
doesn't
thought,
smoke either.
remember when Angelina Jolie had her breasts removed because
Mhm.
she carried the gene for breast cancer that her mother and her grandmother had,
Yeah.
but she was not positive with breast cancer.
Hmm.
But yeah, so I mean, there's choices, I guess, people can
Yeah.
make to, I don't know, I don't want to say speed the process through, but prevent it from going anywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the main thing with cancer is if they catch it early, they can usually stop it from going into like the lymph nodes and stuff. Because once it's in the lymphatic system, it can go anywhere. So anyway, at least that's a very general, anyway. All right, so Children's Museum receives death threats because drag queens were planning to read there. The event was private and after hours, but overwhelming threats of violence to the museum forced the event to be postponed.
Yeah. I just want to let these people know that I have a gun too.
Oh,
And I know how to, put up graffiti. So we find out who you are and we're going to, we can make the same offer to you.
hmm.
I'm tired of people threatening anyone with violence and with some, what they could do to either the drag queens or the people that work at the library or the museum itself. Yeah, I'm not dealing with their shit anymore. Get vaccinated. Shut up.
The views of the hosts on this program are solely the views.
Thank you. Yes, they are. I got a gun.
All right.
Okay.
Well, anyway, since Tom is telling everyone what he's got, wink, wink. Let's go ahead and jump into his week.
Oh, that was quick. Let me look and find my week.
I'm just gonna sit here and eat my nuts.
Okay, well, we did finish High School Musical, the series, season 2, episode 10, which was the finale. And what happened was they were in a competition this season to possibly win awards for their Beauty and the Beast that they did. And at the end, they were all worked up and they were so overwhelmed by wanting to win that they forgot to have a good time. So they decided they're not even going to look to see if they won anything. And they threw away it's like, oh, fuck that. Open it up. What did we win? We didn't go through all that this last few weeks and didn't have any fun. So you could just throw it away. I was a little miffed at that because drama people are not that way. They're not going to throw it away in the betterment of having a good time. What they're going to do is they're going to find out whether they won something, and then they're either going to get drunk because they got awards, or they're going to get drunk because they didn't.
Yeah. Yep.
Come on. Obviously not written by somebody, but in drama. But at the end, they did say, "Oh boy, we're going to have some kind of great summer drama program." And I'm like, oh, I love summer drama. Did you ever do summer drama?
No, unfortunately.
You know what was great about summer drama was that it was 4 to 8 hours a day of nothing but theater.
That would have been cool.
I mean, it really was. If you were working on the sets, you were doing that all day long. If you're acting, you're memorizing your lines and running through. I mean, we one summer drama that we did, there were 3 different shows. We had a children's show, we had a shorter show that was but more modern, and then we had a traditional show, a classic that we did, and it was so much fun. And it was actually I got to do roles because up till that point I had never done any lead roles, and so I got lead roles during the summer drama program, and that was very exciting. So yeah, I know it was it was just great. And then we finished up the summer by going up to Ashland and seeing plays up in Ashland. We went up there and camped for a couple days and saw all these different shows. It was really fun. It was really fun. And then the next year we did a musical 1776. I think it was the summer of 1776, in 1976, and that was great fun. Even though I got a bad part.
Boo.
Well, I don't understand. I still don't understand that. How I got a crap part. I think it was because all the outfits they had, none of them would fit me. I'm serious.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I ended up I played the maintenance guy in the Continental Congress. It's an actual role, but I just needed some sort of pants and then a white kind of fluffy shirt to throw over the top of that. And it's like, oh, okay. It wasn't all the the suits that they had,
right,
fancy stuff. So, but it was a great fun summer. It was great. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I forgot where I was. I was having such a good time with the memory.
Summer drama for me was my grandmother. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then there's we've got the finale of Kevin Can Fuck Himself, and the one thing I did like about this episode, the final episode, even though I won't be watching it next season, was how I said that it was playing between a sitcom and a drama. Well, in this one, they actually had situations where the drama's going on, but then when Kevin walks into the room, all of a sudden it goes from being kind of dark and gloomy kind of look to like the fluorescent lights are on now. And so, I mean, within an edit, it went from dark to light. And then they did that a couple times because that's how a drama is usually more realistic lighting, where sitcoms are always very bright on stage. So that's how they were going back and forth between the drama and the comedy. But there wasn't enough to keep me coming back for more. Hopefully canceled. This week on Evil, there wasn't anything because they've taken a 4-week hiatus. All right, I don't know why. I mean, it's not like I could see if you've got we've got the Olympics going on right now, so we're gonna play alternative programming. You're streaming. Right. I don't get it. Yeah. So let's see. This week on RuPaul, let's see. Jan went home. Okay, that's fine. We're gonna come next week. Real important news here is that next week on RuPaul's Drag Race, they're gonna have the Snatch Game of Love. So if you've ever watched the RuPaul things, the Snatch Game is always super fun because the remaining girls play some famous character. One's Carol Channing and one's Sally Struthers. They pull up whoever they want to. Really hilarious. So that's this next week on RuPaul. Shiga Madoon is still fun, super fun. I'm really liking the fact that they're in the musical, and Michael Key is like, I don't know what to do. And fortunately, Cecily Strong goes, well, we've got to start acting like we're in a musical. And that's the only way we're going to ever get out of here. And he goes, well, what do we do? And she's like going, well, in this time in a musical, this is where this happens. And so they start moving their hopeful exit out of Shiga Madoon by knowing musicals well enough. And it's super clever. It's just fun. And I think it's either one episode left or two. It's 5 or 6 episodes. So I'm looking forward to it. Okay, White Lotus this week. This is that thing that takes place on HBO and HBO Max about these people who have gone on vacation in Hawaii, and it's all these comedians, and they're all having the worst vacations of their lives. They really are. And it's like, I don't care about their storylines. I don't, the only thing I really like about the show is that there's lots of scenes where they're showing beautiful sunsets or palm trees, and the Hawaiian music that they're playing is just lovely. And so it feels kind of like you're there. And then they ruin it by everyone having a bad vacation. The guy who is the manager of the resort, he's been dealing with all the shit that these people give him because everyone thinks their vacation isn't good enough yet, right? Well, I want a better room. I don't like I don't like this. How come this isn't blah, blah, blah. So he went from being like 5 years clean on drugs and alcohol to drinking and taking pills. And the final scene of last week's episode is him eating the ass of somebody, one of his male staff members.
Oh, I think I saw something about that.
Yeah, it's been the talk online that the door flies open and he's got his head in between some kid's butt.
Yeah.
So that was fun. But that was it. That was the only, it was, but it was, I can't even say it was worth the wait because you can go online and they'll show you the picture. So,
yeah.
And let's see, we finished Mr. Mercedes first season. Happy with that first season.
Mm-hmm.
So I started the second season of Why Women Kill, which is the new season, the one currently on Paramount Plus. Well, the second season is so much fun. Have you gotten to start it at all?
Yeah.
Okay.
On one.
So much fun because it's not three different women, it's one woman and all the people that kind of surround her, but there's enough, mean and awful women and bad men and stuff to go around. There's plenty. Mm-hmm. The first episode we had, I think it was four people died. So it was like, finally they realized that if you're going to say Why Women Kill, you have to have some bodies. Okay. But it was totally fun. And it's really campy fun. Let's see. American Horror Stories. This is the spinoff of American Horror Story. The one in and out episode that there was this week was called Bro House, and it was about these four guys, late 20s, who are all living in a house together and filming it all and having the most fun and influence kind of stuff, right? Some YouTube bullshit. And but what happens is they keep doing things that all of a sudden their crowd doesn't like anymore. Like they filmed a guy that was committing suicide by jumping off a bridge and made a joke out of it. So they lost like a sponsor, they started to lose members. Then all of a sudden they decide to do this skit, this bullshit thing that doesn't work out for them. They start losing more viewers. And then so they're like, oh my God, what are we going to do? I'm going to be 30 next year. I can't be an influencer with no show at 30. I'm nobody then. So they decide that they're going to go to harass a Santa, because this takes place during Christmas. And I'll just say that the Santa they harassed was Danny Trejo.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's American Horror Stories. So you can kind of figure where this is going. So let's see. That's okay. Not talking about that. Make a cut. Now, how far are you on making the cut now?
I think I'm caught up.
Okay, me too. I'll tell you, I love Gary. I know he's a mess.
Yes, he is.
But he's certainly more interesting than everybody else.
Yes.
Yeah. So fingers crossed. I loved when he first came on the show, and Tim goes, well, I know I've been following your career for years. And it's like, wow, that's kind of cool. Just because, it's Tim.
Right.
So on Big Brother this week, Brent went home, making the third white guy out the door. And so, it's I think they've got 2 white guys left right now.
Mm.
Yeah, it's maybe it's one. Maybe just I don't know. But they're few and far between. Yeah, which is exactly what everybody wanted on on Twitter and social media. And thank you, Big Brother, for listening. Because I just want to see a year that the last two people aren't the two asshole white guys. That's all.
Agreed.
Let's see. Turner Hooch is a lot of fun. Jungle Cruise opened this week. It was #1 at the box office. It matched its box office matched its money that it made on Disney Plus. Their access where they have the the new shows opening up on there as well as at theaters, which is actually why they're Disney's being sued by Scarlett Johansson. Long story. Let's see.
I don't know. I think she might be right.
No. Well, okay. You know what? Okay, you know what?
When you get $4 million for something, be happy with $4 million. But at the same time, you've got the guys that are all making about 21 million.
No, that's not what the problem is here.
Okay, what was the problem?
The problem here is that they put it on Access. They put it at theaters. And right. A lot of these big stars, they get a percentage of.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I meant.
Well, it wasn't her money. It was the fact that because they put it on Access, she's not going to make as much money at theaters where she gets the larger cut.
Right.
And it's like, it's a fucking pandemic. Your show was #1 for 1 week at the theaters. Well, you think everybody on Disney Access was the rest of the people that were going to come the rest of the summer? No, the theaters are not back yet. You still did better than anybody's done so far this year. You did better than Fast and Furious 9. I don't get it. Now they're saying that Emma Stone's going to do it too for Cruella, and it's like the studios are trying to get the theaters back together again. How about this? Scarlett Johansson. How about if they had released it last year in May in the middle of the pandemic, and you would have had 0 audience members? So I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
And if I'm wrong,
if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I think that's exactly what the situation is. It's just, I mean, it's greed, and I don't mind greed if you, but if you're stuck in the middle of this pandemic.
Yeah, but the thing is too is that it's happening to a woman who they have consistently fucked up and taken and devalued women.
Have they? Yes, Disney's done this to her, right?
I didn't say Disney. Well, I guess in this sense, but anyway, you're situational.
Okay, like you're trying to make this out that Scarlett Johansson is every woman now, and she's not.
Well, no, I think Whitney was every woman. Never mind.
Okay, Love Victor was renewed for another season, so that's good.
Which show?
Love Victor.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. Outer Banks is back on Netflix. It's about the 4 piece of shit kids who get in trouble all the time, but they found gold. So now we've got a second season. And let's see. Okay, yeah, okay. And I mentioned to you on Paramount Plus is SpongeBob the Musical, and this is the Broadway show filmed, and it was fascinating. I haven't watched the whole thing, mostly because I don't know SpongeBob from Elmer Fudd. I don't know. I don't know what's funny. And so when they're doing little skits and storylines, I'm like, what's a Squidward? I don't know what that means. I mean, I know that was the squid guy, but okay, I'm lost. So I felt, although it was super cute, it was kind of confusing, and they're not dressed they are dressed like their characters, but they don't have any of the facial, like this. I took me forever to figure out who the starfish guy was because he doesn't look like a starfish. They could have at least put a fucking starfish on his t-shirt. I don't know, something. So,
yeah.
But I think for those who know the stuff, they're gonna like it. Let's see. Season 2 also for Mighty Ducks. So that was exciting.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw 3 movies. One's called Jolt. And this is with I can't remember her name, and I didn't write it down. Anyway, it's on Prime.
Yeah.
It's a action adventure picture where this woman has this disease that takes away her filter. So if something pisses her off, she punches somebody. She has no, everything triggers her. So you could be walking down the street and go, "Good morning," and she would beat you up.
Kate Beckinsale.
Yes, yeah, and it was totally fun. The thing was totally fun. Yeah, it's kind of, imagine Brian if he were violent.
Oh God.
Yeah,
he'd be in prison in a day.
Oh yeah. So, but it's done very campy and tongue in cheek kind of thing. I really enjoyed it. On Hulu, there's a new show called The Resort.
Mm-hmm.
And The Resort is about these 4 adults, young adults. When I say, they're in their 20s, probably late 20s. One of the girl writes horror books. And so she wants to go to this resort that's on one of the smaller islands in the Hawaiian Islands, where they put up a resort, but it's been haunted for years, and they finally closed it because they couldn't deal with the violence and stuff that was going on. People started getting scared, so they just basically abandoned it. Now this resort actually is there, and what happened was they put it on one of these islands, and they, the local people said, "Oh, the spirits of this island aren't going to like this," and they had nothing but big storms coming in and washing away, part of the buildings. And every time they just kept spending more money, and then more storms would come. And so they finally just left it there. I saw a story on it. And so they're coming in, and of course, they meet the half-faced girl. She was, when the place was open, she was killed by somebody one of the people that were there, one of the patrons. They don't know who, but they know that the girl was raped and killed. And when they found her, the only part of her face that was left was a part facing down because animals had eaten one side of it. So she's the half-faced girl. Okay. So it's only an hour and 15 minutes long, and it is one of the worst edited movies I've ever seen. The acting is, the acting's actually okay considering the film itself, but there's like these long drag ass monologues of, "I don't give a shit. I want to see the half-faced girl." Okay. And then the ending was stupid. Saw it a mile away coming. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just, and I felt bad because I love these kind of movies, and I just wished it was not quite as awful. There's a couple edits that are so just awful, where they're like, "Well, I was in the middle," and then all of a sudden it's cut to something, it's cut to them all done with their conversation and taking a walk now. It's like, what the hell just happened? Bad editing. Wow. And of course, I think they were almost there by, without getting legal approval. It felt like it was one of those, what do they call those movies where it's like shoot and run type thing?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. So a lot of it felt like that. Anyway, the last movie I saw was called Freaky, which is on HBO and HBO Max right now. It's Vince Vaughn, and he plays a serial killer. And but what happens is he's at one point he's killing this one girl, and he stabs her in the shoulder, and then there's lightning, and then the next day when they wake up, he's Vince Vaughn's character is now in the girl, and the girl's character is now in Vince Vaughn, her soul. So it's Freaky Friday. Okay, Freaky Friday. That and my big thing about the whole movie was actually it's quite a fun movie.
Okay.
You know, it's super campy, fun movie, but by calling it freaky, you're kind of giving away the whole I don't want to say surprise because it's in the preview, but the whole gimmick of the movie is it's like Freaky Friday. So why don't you just call it Freaky Friday by Halloween, or, because that's how it feels. It just feels like you're bullshitting us with the freaky. It could have been called, something else. It just, it's like in a chorus line, when it first came out, they called Dance 10 Looks 3, they called it Tits and Ass, was the name of the song. And somebody famous, I can't remember who it was, said to the writer, why are you giving the joke away? You're calling it Tits and Ass. But if you think about it, in the song, until she goes, well, I finally got my life together by getting tits and ass. But you've already given that away in the program. So, so I'm like, that's how this felt. I'm about ready to harvest girl number 1.
Ooh.
Yeah, their girl 2 would probably be the next week, and then probably a couple weeks down the line for the one that was really small, and then now she's the tallest one. No bush though. It was weird. She really doesn't have a bush, but she does have the flowers, which is all I care about. Oh, you're just filthy.
Disgusting. Yeah.
And that's it.
Cool. Okay.
Oh, my tomato harvest is incredible though.
It's very cool. Yeah, your pictures were very cool of that. Hey, I have a question for you. How do you feel about the I mean, not that I expect you to have some big deep revelation, but about the Fandango merging with Voodoo?
Well, I'm just glad that they are continuing their promises. When it's like I've got Voodoo, and I've got a shitload of movies on Voodoo.
Right
now, I don't want them going, oh well, we're going bankrupt, you don't have those movies anymore.
Right, exactly.
That was always my concern. Either that or that we lose Wi-Fi forever and then I lose all the movies. But at least that's a worldwide problem and not just something that they're kind of fucking us with. The reason I went with Voodoo originally was because it's Walmart.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, or it's an affiliate of Walmart.
Right.
Or backed by Walmart, whatever it is, it's Walmart.
Yeah.
So that's why I keep my stuff on Apple and on Voodoo.
Yeah. Yes. My originally, I think I was doing movies anywhere, whatever. They were all like, but Voodoo is where I try to keep everything. I have one that went to Prime though, and I don't like that. I always like my stuff in like one place.
Well, I remember when, because it was about 2 or 3 years ago, there was one thing, Movies Anywhere.
Yeah, Movies Anywhere.
And what they did was they linked it all together. And if you had Disney, Sony, Paramount, Universal, or Warner, and Fox, if you had any of their affiliates, those movies would be on any source that you had. If you were on, like if I was on Apple and I was on Voodoo, they would all join together and I would have the equal amount on each.
Yeah.
It's just anything that was, A24 or any sub kind of studio, you'd not see them. Actually, I don't think Fox, that secondary Fox one was even on there. I think some of them weren't, but it was a good way of getting all your movies kind of together. And then that failed.
Yep.
But fortunately, they kept the movies where they were.
Right. Yeah.
And now when I buy things, it's only on Apple or Vudu. What I do is, oh, that's a really good price on that movie. And if it's cheaper on one, that's where I put it.
Yeah, I try to stick to Vudu, which is one of the reasons that I like that with the whole thing Fandango merger and everything, that they now have Vudu gift cards, but they are not why you can only get them from Vudu. So for somebody to get me a Vudu gift card, they actually have to go to Vudu and like go through, and it's like I'll be happy when they're on Amazon, because Amazon has gift cards for anything else, and I'm like, why don't you have them for this?
Well, you can go to the grocery store and get an Amazon or an Apple gift card.
Exactly. And so at some point, hopefully Vudu will do that as well, because I just I like it all in one place, or I forget where the hell things are.
Have you checked to see if Walmart gift cards work?
No, I haven't.
Mm-hmm. Only because I can't imagine Walmart missing out on sales.
Yeah,
they're savvy that way.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. But I do like that they now have the gift cards available. So that's of course they're all like, if you're looking for 50 or more gift cards, enter here. I don't think so, girl.
Are they $1 a piece?
Right, exactly. Right now they do have the F9. Like all the gift cards have like the different characters of F9 on it. Not that I want, not that I'm hot about that. I have never gotten into those, the Fast and Furious movies.
I have a funny story about that. I had a listener contact me, and he said, I saw Fast and Furious 9 and it was horrible. And I said, okay, so you've seen the first 8. Yeah. And you knew what the first 8 were like, but you went to 9 thinking it was going to be the game changer.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry, but if you've gone to see every Friday the 13th movie, and then you go see the new Friday the 13th movie and goes, wow, it's horrible. And it's like, but you've seen the other ones and they all are what they are. I'm not saying they're horrible movies. I'm saying they're what they are. Yeah. And that's the same thing with the Fast and Furious movies. I mean, if you're looking for substance, you're on the wrong show. Why are you blurry? Why are you blurry? You're so blurry right now. Oh, there you go.
There,
but
my video driver is having a bit of a moment, I think.
Oh no. You know what that means? You know what that means?
Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of like when I watch a Jason Bourne movie, I'm not watching it for the intellectual dialogue.
Right. And you're seeing the same movie 3 or 4 times. However many they've made, all they do is they think of new ways of, it's kind of like the James Bond movies. You go because you like the characters or you like the action. You don't go for, or you like the theme song. That might work too for
yeah.
What's your favorite Bond theme song?
It would be a toss-up, I think, between Tina Turner's, although I can't remember the name of it at the moment, and also Duran Duran did A View to a Kill.
Yeah, my favorite.
Now, Clint's is Taylor Dane's.
I'm sorry?
Clint's version, or Ouija, his favorite was Taylor Dane, and he would force me to listen to it over and over and over again.
Yeah, my favorite was Live and Let Die.
That was a good one too.
Yeah, Paul McCartney and Wings. But then I really like For Your Eyes Only and Nobody Does It Better, which was Sheena Easton, For Your Eyes Only. And and then Carly Simons was Nobody Does It Better, because it was such a change. Because I think that was Octopussy, and when they started because it's like da 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 da, and then it's like this piano. Nobody does it. It was like, oh, this is cool. and then they still had the opening the same way, even though it wasn't this fast paced, bum, 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 kind of opening. And now that all they do are slow songs. The one from Sam Smith and from I Lost All That Weight.
Adele.
Adele.
I love Adele. Yeah, Tina Turner sang Goldeneye.
Okay.
Yeah. Although, I didn't think it was called Goldeneye, but I guess it was. Anyway. But yeah, I used to have the A View to a Kill soundtrack. It was actually really, really good. Okay, well, good. Getting into my week. Starting off, we have cleared another hurdle toward getting another hip replacement. I was a little surprised that they are going to do a posterior version rather than a side version. Their first one was a side version, but this one's going to be gone in from the back, and for a number of reasons. And I mean, it is what it is, but usually, unless they've changed some stuff or updated, usually when they go in from the back, it limits your ability to like bend over and put your shoes on and stuff like that. So I'm a little concerned about that, but the fact is it'll clear up a lot of her pain and everything. So she will be hopefully going in September, and she'll be there for like maybe an overnight, maybe 2 days, if that, and then sent home. So
what's the recovery time otherwise?
About 6 weeks, 2 months, something like that. I mean, they get them up and walking like the next day.
Right.
And then she'll have nurses and physical therapy for probably about 6 weeks. Yeah. Let's see. Then we've got some daddy drama. So starting last week, he was falling and he's always falling. And doing his, he was just having all sorts of issues, which I won't go into some of them, but he was just a mess. And then over the weekend, he just seemed to get better and be fine. And then Monday morning, he just was a total fucking mess again. And so we ended up having to clean him up and then get him dressed and call the ambulance to take him to the hospital. And it was this big dramatic thing. I mean, he was like in tears, and he was practically like, saying goodbye to the dog again, just being like, he was on his way out. And I'm like, please, he will be home before he'll be home for dinner. And then mother and I went up and did her next hip check thing, which turned out just fine. And then late last night, get a call, and it's daddy, and it's like, oh, I'll be on my way home soon. Oh, by the way, I don't have my phone. And so I'm sitting there waiting for him to get home, and it's not happening. And then I get a call from him. The nurse that was dealing with him apparently rolled him out in a wheelchair into the front of emergency with his walker, and then just left him there. And they're not supposed to leave you unattended until you actually like get picked up. But so he's like, well, the yellow cab never showed.
Wait, have you met him?
Oh, girl.
Yeah.
Have I met him?
Yeah, so I'm sure it's like this. Okay, well, we're sure someone's going to be here to get you anytime now. Bye.
Yeah. So probably pretty much. So the cab never showed up. So he calls me. He's like, from using some stranger's cell phone. He's like, you need to call me a yellow taxi. I'm like, yeah, I just have that number in my phone. So I end up getting him an Uber. So the Uber accepts. The Uber gets almost there. And so I'm just like doing other stuff on my phone. And I'm like, it's been like half an hour. He should have been here by now. So I checked, and the Uber canceled. Like the Uber just like basically said, nah, no thanks. So I ended
Did
up.
they do a drive-by? Is that why?
Well, I have no idea. Uh, I don't think they even got close to it. I think they just accepted it, got halfway there, and then dropped it. Meanwhile, of course, it is the busy thing, so they've upped all the prices, and only the more expensive ones are even available right now. So I come in and I'm like, okay, let me just try for the fucking yellow cab shit. So I get on their website, I call them, and it's like a whole automated thing. They sound like they're super busy and you have to book like way in advance and shit. And I'm just like already pissed off at my wits' end. I am now having to deal with all this shit, and it's like my anxiety is just like through the roof already. So I put in the shit and I do another Uber thing. And this time it's starting to go through. Well, with the hospital, it's like in two parts. So there's the front entrance part where the address is, but then it's like split by a street. And then they have a big thing that goes over the street that in the hospital that you walk through. But anyway, so it's split by a street. So the entrance to the emergency, it's the same address, but it's across the street. So I put in the directions. John is, sitting in a wheelchair in front of the emergency room exit with his walker. He does not have his phone. So I made it very clear, you can spot this fucker. This is how you do it. And so it takes a little bit for the Uber to get there. I can see the car on the GPS thing pull up to the spot where he's not at. And I put a message in and say, he's in front of the emergency room thing. All of a sudden, the thing blips off and that driver cancels. So I'm all like, oh, hell the fuck no. Am I going to actually have to get an Uber myself to go down there and stand next to that fucker and bring him home that way? And then I was just like, said, okay, something needs to happen here. Universe needs to take over and make this happen because I'm going to lose my mind. And all of a sudden, the whole thing blipped over to another driver who picked it up. He was there in 2 minutes, and went to the same damn spot. And I sent him a message too. Said he is in front of the emergency room exit. He does not have his phone. And the guy wrote back and said, "Okay, got it." And I saw the car pull up to the place, and 4 minutes later, he was on his way home. And I was so thankful. And I promised myself that I would not want to scream and yell at him when he got back here. So, of course, he gets out, and it takes me a while to drag him in because he's so messed up and unsteady. They said his blood sugar was over 600. And so they had to bring it down. And of course, he's yelling, screaming that it's the doctor's fault. And I'm like, you have a test kit. Did you not take your fucking blood sugar at any point this weekend? What the fuck is the matter with you? I did not say all this. I simply thought it. I was being nice. And, well, then got him in. He said he didn't want anything to eat. 5 minutes later, can you fix me something to eat? I'm a poor little old man. So I did. And since then, he's been in his room doing his thing. But he was like practically on death's door in the morning. And then at night, he's all like, oh, look at me. I'm a bubbly, cute little man. So that's just John. Anyway. What else? I've been feeling a little out of sorts myself, but I am a little bit better today, so I'm very happy about that. As you said, we were talking about making the cut. I was okay with the winner. I finished the first season. I was okay with the winner. I wasn't super thrilled. Wasn't super thrilled by really any of them. Although I thought the German woman, even with her all black stuff, was actually really good. And the winner, I don't know if you remember, but he had his final runway had like those weird gloves on things.
No, I don't remember it at all.
Okay.
It was 2 years ago.
Okay, I was just like, what the fuck is that about? Anyway, but yeah, I'm very happy with how this is kind of shaping up this season. Although I'll tell you, some of these people in their damn, how do you get on a fucking show like this and not know how to sew?
I get it.
I mean, even rudimentary. I know how to sew rudimentary, something. I mean,
Well, as the character from Why Women Kill, everybody knows how to do a stitch.
Yeah, I can even double stitch. Anyway, so, and then the only other thing that I really had a chance to watch this week was a movie on Prime called Alien Conquest. And it's basically, the plot is sibling astronomers discover Martians are threatening to attack Earth. Well, they're not just threatening, they actually do. But no one believes them until Martians land and nearly destroy all of New York City. This is a movie on Prime, and it's I'm going to say that it was, in the grand scheme of movies, like, girl, don't even. I mean, if you're looking for a grand scale Martian invasion thing, don't even waste your time. But because, I mean, this was like straight out of acting class. Like, you could tell that everything that these people were doing was something that they're like, I'm remembering my notes from my acting class on Wednesday. And it was just badly done. However, I will say that for having like a $35 special effects budget and spending 34 of it on trying to create the 10 seconds that they actually showed an alien, they did really well for not showing what was going on, but having it still like kind of have the reactionary impact. Like, they just, like, when they're watching like an entire city get destroyed or something, all you see is like a red light kind of reflected in their faces, and then their reactions to it, and like, oh my god, the city's being destroyed, and you're kind of like, okay, kind of buy it. I don't need to see it. You're filling in the blanks. But no, other than that, if you want a really good movie, don't watch that. Last Romance, still racking in the 5-star reviews. I'm very proud of it, but it'd be nice if I could get a few more, higher profile sales going there. That would be very nice. Not for the money, but just because I want people to read my beautiful book. And also, this next week, the signed copies going out to our Patreon members. So yay. Hey, we want to remind you to be loud, be proud, be too much, and to be you. Fat Marker Clothing wants those of us who have been told that we are too much of something to turn those negatives into positives. And Chubs Gone Wild listeners, you can do that by using the code FMWildChub to get 20% off anything while ordering over at fatmarkerclothing.com. And I found something that I wanted over at Fat Marker this week. Opening up the link. It is I was actually going to try, I don't like tank tops necessarily for myself, but I was going to try one because some of my followers want to see me in a tank top. I'm like, okay, I can try that.
Are these on the fan only page?
Yes, the OnlyFans, yeah, that's gonna happen anyway. But it was a really cool tank top, and it's got a British flag on it, and it has a cup of tea on it with probably hand painted periwinkles, and it says, I don't repeat gossip, so listen closely. And it's a very cute shirt, and I really wanted it, and it only goes up to size 2XL.
Really?
Yeah, I was really surprised because Fat Marker has such neat stuff that go up to big boy, big boy levels, but this one only goes up to 2XL, and I was really sad.
Is it not one of their originals then?
I don't know. It could be.
Yeah,
but it's not.
I mean, like, how Amazon takes on little companies to build up their inventory. Maybe that's what they're doing.
Yeah, this is a tank top, has everything you possibly need, blah blah blah. Stretchy material, stretches, not enough, girl. cross, length, white, green, precision. It doesn't really say.
Okay.
But yeah. But anyway, so
that does sound cute though.
But if you can, anything 2XL or under, this is a very, very fun shirt. So you should like run and grab it. So yeah. And don't forget FM Wild Chub, 20% off everything. Everything. Well, let's get into advice. And here we have just the deepest question ever. This comes from Dear Prudy over at slate.com. Go check them out, support them, do all that fun stuff. And this person writes, I have been with my partner for 9 years, living together for 8. I was married before, and I feel I should be fine to not do that again. But I'm also really wanting him to propose. I'm 41, so it feels silly to want the whole ring and splashy proposal again. He's so committed to our life together, emotionally intelligent and available, and overall fantastic guy. Nevertheless, I've brought up getting engaged a few times, and he still seems hesitant. The reason he's given me for his hesitation is my lack of commitment to stay in shape. True. Which is super important to him, but it hurts me that could be a big enough reason for him. I've worked really hard in finding strength to express and prioritize my wants and needs and feel that I deserve to have this, but I'm conflicted at the same time. Should I keep bringing it up or just get over it and be grateful that I have a wonderful partner and leave it at that? Bitch, you have a wonderful partner. Like, if you're not in shape, I'm dumping you.
Yeah,
that's
I don't
not a
that.
wonderful partner. That's a prick. Fuck them.
Yeah, that says I love you with limitations.
Yeah, exactly. I just
yeah, that's bothersome to me as well.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Other than that, at these days, I really don't give a shit about the marriage thing. I would say, hey, you know what? If you're happy, whatever. Why is it so important to you? Whatever. But yeah, if his whole thing is, I don't want to make a commitment to you because you might get fat one day.
No. It's hesitation in the lack of my commitment to stay in shape. So that's not one day. That means it sounds like it comes and goes.
Yeah.
Which means that this conversation's happened before. Otherwise, she wouldn't be getting back into shape.
Yeah. Dump him. Dump him. Get away.
Well, and I feel bad. First of all, stop worrying about where's my diamond and find out where your respect for yourself is.
Well, there is that too, because the whole should I just be happy?
I think it's a she. She's making excuses for this guy treating her like shit.
Well, I don't know if it's a she or not, but it probably sounds like it. But anyway, and especially I'm 41. Anyway.
Well, the thing is, I mean, I understand it. We grew up, and even someone 41 grew up at a time period where, it's one other reason to get married is because people are less likely to go, okay, I'm leaving, bye, if there's something, if there's legality involved.
Yeah.
And I know that's a terrible thing to say, but I think that's why so many gay relationships back in our era were come and go relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Where nowadays, I mean, if you look at gays and lesbians, relationships last longer than heterosexual relationships last. So, that the one thing that they were worried about was that 50% of heterosexual relationships end in divorce, or marriages end in divorce. Well, that's not the same thing for gay and lesbian people. And so there's got to be that thought in people's minds. And if she's heterosexual, then she's got a 1 in 5 chance, or 1 in 2 chances that they're going to end in divorce. And she's got no ring, she's fat, and no boyfriend anymore.
Well, and then all she needs to do is create herself an Instagram account and find one. All right. Yeah. Okay. Well, what's dear Prudy have to say? Oh God, I don't care about the proposal. Okay. Oh, I care about you getting out of a relationship with someone who basically said he won't want to be with you if your body changes. That's what we said.
Yeah.
I hope I'm not the first person to tell you that his position means he A, doesn't really love you, and B, will make you miserable as you get older or get sick, and especially if you get pregnant, if that's in the plan. He's done you a favor by dragging him. Goodness, what the fuck?
Why are you so popular?
Apparently. He's done you a favor by dragging his feet. Gather every ounce of self-love you have. Ask friends and a therapist for help finding it if you need it, and leave him. Wow. Good for you for saying that. That's very blunt for dear Prudy, though.
Yeah.
Wow. Usually it'd be like, sit down and talk to him and say the following.
Fuck you, I'm leaving.
Yeah, that's good advice. All right. Hey, Chubs, painting or sculptures?
Probably paintings.
Yeah, me too. I appreciate sculptures, but
I do, but they're it depends on the sculpture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just and they're heavy and in the way, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Chubs, Barbara or Liza?
Well, it depends. You know, I mean, you can't just say Barbara Eliza. I mean, Barbara. I mean, I like both of them. They're both amazing comedians.
Mm.
But Streisand's the better singer, but Liza gives the better performance. If that makes sense.
No, that makes complete sense.
Liza's all, and Barbara's, you know, memories, you know, and that's and it's not the age because they're pretty much the same age.
Right. I was gonna say if it would be like hanging out at a party, definitely Liza.
Oh yeah.
She'd be the one that would probably gossip with you rather than Barbara. You know, Barbara's a little shy.
And entourage-y. Liza, you know, you get a drink and some pills. It's going to be fun.
Huh. Oh, well, but yeah.
Oh, is she clean again?
I don't know. I hope she's living her best life, and if that means that she's having a couple Quaaludes when she wants to, go for it.
Couple, girl.
Well, okay. Also, I thought you were going to say Quaaludes. What are we in the 80s?
Well, I know that's the only reason why I knew what you were talking about. Half our listeners are going, "What's a Quaalude?"
Yeah, well, apparently they're on their way back.
Well, they were good. I liked them.
Yeah. Okay. Trivia question for you, sir. What state drinks the most soda?
I would say that it's probably Mississippi.
Did you read the answer? Did you look it up? How the hell did you pull that out of your butt?
Because
you Googled it.
I didn't even know this was a question. Oh. I figured it would be Mississippi, Arkansas, or Louisiana.
Well,
because if you look at what states have the least vaccination and which states have the least education,
the highest obesity rate.
And so I went with Mississippi because Louisiana has New Orleans, so you get a lot of shift there with intelligence and stuff, and then that's Mississippi.
All right. Well, yes, it was Mississippi. Which
soda's not good for you, and that's why I figured it would be,
right.
And it's per capita too. It's per population. So it's not going to be because what's wrong? Why are you laughing?
Because it's like you're reading this right off. It says right at the beginning, per capita per 1,000.
Yeah, because Texas and California and Florida probably have far more consume far more soda, but not per capita.
Yeah. Well,
Dumb states drink more soda. That's what I'm saying.
Consuming soda or fruit drinks daily, 47.5% of people in Mississippi.
Wow, that is surprising.
Daily. So
yeah,
I actually was originally trying to look at how many cans of Diet Coke were sold per year, but I couldn't get a freaking straight answer. So, whatever.
Well,
Anyway.
just take how much you consume, and then times that times. No, I don't know.
No, nobody can drink that much. All right. So, what's in your lunchbox? Mr. Moose wrote in, and he said he's got some things stuffed in his box. We have Eastern North Carolina style chopped pork barbecue with vinegar and hot sauce with a side of okra and mashed potatoes. Yeah, that looks really good.
I've got to have some gravy. I need gravy. Sorry,
there's a little bit on the potatoes.
No, there is. That's why I need gravy. I want gravy now, and I don't know where to find it.
Well, I'll tell you the meat in this one. Salad with lots of meat on top, beef brisket and smoked chicken. Salad is mixed greens, cucumber, diced tomato, cheese, and tortilla strips, ranch dressing. This brisket just looks so amazing.
It does.
I want like the whole thing though, not just strips of it. Next up, we have I propose we add to the 7 wonders of the world, that list that includes the Great Wall of China and Roman Colosseum. I think we should add the most perfect food, the cheeseburger. Pictured is double half-pound patties cooked medium with 2 slices of cheddar cheese, tomato slices, pickle, and lettuce. Truly a wonder of the world. Actually, this looks really good.
Look at the French fries, though.
Yeah,
it's so crispy.
Nice, crispy, and yet you bite into it. It has that perfect amount of grease, and it's not over potatoey inside.
And then the ranch dip there for the fries. Yeah. Looks good. And that's it's a pound burger, so there's 2 half pounds, 2 slices of cheese. Now I would get rid of the lettuce and tomato and just put a slice of onion with mayonnaise on both sides of the bun, and I would be in heaven.
Yeah.
I don't trust tomatoes anymore. Tomatoes, they always are tasteless because they're forced to grow. And then that lettuce, I'm sorry, that looks like steps away from kale. It looks hard. I don't want lettuce, tomato. I want onion, and I'm done, and I'm ready.
I need a salad on my meat. Yeah, I got it. Okay, so next one we got here is from Phoenix Dave, and he writes in and says, "Hey y'all, hello y'all. Well, it was Monday again, so the cafeteria was serving red beans and rice with sausage, spinach, and cornbread. My hubby did not believe I could handle 9 inches. I did, all 9 inches. I'm such a whore. Wow." Oh, and he even put a tape measure across the.
Did you saw that?
Yeah, I just now saw the tape measure. I was too focused on the 9 inches of meat in that.
I know, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful sausage. The beans and red beans and rice look good, and the cornbread looks good. But I'm not a greens fan. Are you a greens fan?
Not really. I have had some that are amazing, but as a general rule, especially from restaurants, no.
Yeah, Sean, that's the one thing when we go to a barbecue place, he wants the greens, and I'm like, yeah. I'm more of the red beans and rice guy. I love red beans and rice. But and cornbread, it depends on the place.
Yeah, that's another. And we have a barbecue place down here that is supposed to be one of the best barbecue places in Sac, and it's just not. Their sauces are awful. Their sides are worse, tasteless, bland, mush. And their meat, the brisket is okay, but their chicken is just dry.
You need to come down near my house to a place called Momo's Meat Market.
Oh, I've heard of that or seen it.
Yeah. Oh my God, their chicken is amazing. You can get, it's great because you get a 4 where it comes with brisket, chicken, it's actually a hot link or hot links and a rib and ribs. So you get like 2 or 3 ribs, a couple sausages, you get some chicken cut up, you get some brisket cut up, and then you get 2 sides, and we will share it. And
Wow.
it's like $14, but it's enough for the 2 of us. And it is so good. And he'll always get the greens, and I'll always get the red beans and rice. And I won't touch the greens.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it tastes too much like, this was what was left over for, all the tops of like, shit that I don't want to eat to begin with. And we're going to boil those up and throw some,
and
bacon.
If you're going to cook greens, you have to have flavor, and you can't just dump them in some water and lard and then you need, anyway, we could go on about that. Next up, we have something from Mr. Michael Sage, a little
there's more.
Yes, Southwest peppers and leftover grilled veggies, and there is a photo of that. Extremely colorful plate. He's even got a lime on it.
Oh, it is a lime. Isn't that cute?
Yeah, love that. Mr. Larry Dean would love that. He loves putting limes and lemons and fruits and stuff in food. I just don't understand it.
Yeah, what was the drizzle though? That looks really yummy on top.
I was wondering the same. It's probably it looks like it might be like either a Thousand Island dressing or maybe an aioli sour cream or something.
I think it's probably what I've noticed now is they have crema where they'll do it with something, especially on his Mexican dishes or Latin dishes, where they'll do something, and that could be like a hot sauce mixed up with it, or it could just be something very savory. But it looks yummy. I was on Amazon, and they actually sell these things pre-made of like cremas in a plastic bottle, so you can just turn it over and squirt it on everything.
Nice.
That sounds great.
I think crema is still like 149 days away, though.
Yeah, and it's also full of calories.
Yeah. Speaking of full of calories, well, behind me, if you're watching the video, I know you've been looking at this beautiful, delicious cake with candles. It's birthday cake with confetti. It's so yummy. Well, that is in celebration of Mr. Toppy Smelly's birthday. Just 3 days away from now. I got him a birthday cake, and I ate it. Well, part of it.
That was like that dog video. I bought him a cake, but he doesn't live near me, so I ate it.
Oh, yes. It's funny. Poor puppy. But yeah, pretty much I wanted to celebrate Toppy Smelly's birthday coming up here in just a few days, and I couldn't think of any better way to do it than getting a beautiful, huge, it was a 3-layer vanilla cake with perfect, just extra frosting and just confetti on the outside. It was so beautiful and colorful, and I was like, that is a Toppy Smelly cake. And I brought it home, and then we all divided it up and ate it, and it was really good. So happy birthday, Toppy. We love you.
3 or 4 divisions?
Oh, it was many divisions, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll go with 3 because some people are cake snobs.
I figured that might be the case.
But so it was three divisions, but not all of it got eaten because it was a lot of cake. So, but I'll bag it up and send the rest to him. Anyway, just kidding.
What, the 6 candles?
Yeah. Oh, the candles were so beautiful. I love them. I'm going to reuse them for somebody else's cake coming up soon. Anyway. Oh, wait a minute. Don't we have, before the next show, don't we have Brian Judd's birthday coming up too?
Yeah, his birthday is next week.
Yeah. Did not see that on our roster.
That's because he's not on your Facebook page.
Isn't he?
No.
Interesting. Don't care. All right, moving on. We've got.
I mean, not as Brian Judd.
Well, I know, but I wasn't sure whether he would have put his birthday up or not.
I'm sure he wouldn't.
Yeah, that's what I meant. But yeah, I don't want to give away his persona non grata.
No one cares.
His mother cares. All right, moving on.
But she's not even on his Facebook page.
What? I thought she was.
He doesn't want to hear her shit.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, currently almost did it. LGBTQ people of color in America have a disproportionately high rate of new HIV infections. Golden Rule Services of Sacramento, along with the HIV Planning Council, want you to know that there is an important tool in preventing you from contracting HIV. Pre-exposure prophylaxis, aka PrEP, is a medically proven way to be 99% effective in preventing HIV infection. To learn more about PrEP, call your local sexual health clinic in Sacramento County, California. Contact Golden Rule Services of Sacramento at sacgrs.org to get started on protecting your sexual health. And thank you so much to GRS for being a sponsor of the show. All right, send us your email, chubsgonewild@gmail.com. Leave us a comment at chubsgonewild.com. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/chubsgonewild. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/chubsgonewild. And you also go over there and check out all the amazing photos from what's in your lunchbox, because there are some really good ones, really, really good ones. And if you want to send your really good ones, just send them to us at chubsgonewild@gmail.com. Also, please consider becoming a patron of the show over at patreon.com/MattBurlingame. Find Tom's movie and TV reviews over at swannerandjudd.com. And find the podcast over at iTunes or on iHeartRadio. Find out more about my books over at justkisstheguy.com and check out my other podcast at biggaySexShow.com. And give us a call at
408-69 Chubs.
Woo! And don't forget, you can also watch this fabulous recording on video, if you so desire, over at youtube.com. Just look up Chubs Gone Wild. And with that, we want to wish you an amazing week, because you should have an amazing week. You listen to us, that means you're fabulous, right?
I'm not sucking into this.
Oh. What are you sucking into? Okay. All right. We love you. We'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.